Before we begin, let me tell you something that no other channel will admit. You don't need the 48 laws of power to manipulate people. You need them to protect yourself from the ones who already are. This world is full of hidden agendas, beautiful masks, and silent battles you never knew you were part of. But you're here because you want to understand the game instead of being played by it. You're here because your mind is hungry for truth, strategy, and wisdom that most people never see. And I promise you, this version of the 48 laws will feel different, deeper, simpler, and more human than anything you've ever heard. If you stay with me until the end, you won't just learn these laws. You'll feel them come alive in your relationships, your career, your confidence, and the way you understand people. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let me guide you through the psychology of power with honesty, humor, and the elegance that defines this channel. And if you believe wisdom should be free, human, and beautifully explained, please like this video and subscribe to Sethtra Books, not just to support the channel, but to support your own journey of becoming wiser, calmer, and unshakably powerful in a world that constantly tests you. Now, let's begin. Law 1. Never outshine the master. In life, talent is a blessing until it becomes a threat to the wrong person, and nothing triggers insecurity faster than someone beneath you rising too quickly. The truth is simple. People don't hate your success. They hate how your success makes them feel about themselves. When someone above you sees your light shining brighter than theirs, survival instincts activate. And suddenly, your brilliance becomes a problem. The law teaches humility, timing, and strategic restraint. Shine, but don't blind. Make the master feel safe, respected, and superior, not because they are better, but because their ego demands it. Your intelligence should be visible enough to be valued, but never so loud that it becomes punishable. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Friends love you until ambition, jealousy, opportunity, or personal frustration rearranges their loyalty. Familiarity breeds comfort, and comfort breeds carelessness, and the people closest to you often feel entitled to judge you, advise you, or accidentally sabotage you without realizing the damage they cause. Friends may love you, but they are not always good for your goals. Emotions make them unpredictable, reactive, or overly honest in moments that require strategy. Hire skill, not sympathy. Work with competence, not closeness. Friends make life warm, but they make politics dangerous. Keep boundaries, keep clarity, and remember that loyalty is proven by actions, not memories. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. There is a strange power in silence when people don't know what you want. They cannot block, redirect, sabotage, or compete with you. Your plans become vulnerable the moment they become public, because every listener filters your goals through their insecurities, their fears, and their own ambitions. Concealing your intentions is not deception. It is psychological armor. Move quietly. Reveal only what is necessary. Let your actions speak only when they are irreversible. When people cannot predict you, they cannot control you. And that makes your journey smoother, calmer, and far less interrupted by the noise of unnecessary opinions. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Words are like arrows. Once released, they can never be retrieved, and most conflicts begin not with actions, but with unnecessary talking. Silence creates mystery, strength, and authority. The person who speaks least is automatically perceived as more thoughtful, more confident, and more disciplined. When you say less, people imagine more. They fill the gaps with their own interpretations, often giving you more power than you intended. Control your words, and you control the room. Speak briefly, speak precisely, and speak only when silence is no longer effective. Power is not in what you say, it is in what you refuse to say. Law 5. Guard your reputation with your life. Reputation is the currency of influence, and once it cracks, it rarely returns to its original form. People make decisions about you long before you speak, based on whispers, prescience, consistency, and the stories others tell in your absence. Your reputation works 24/7, even when you're sleeping, and it travels faster than truth. Faster than proof, faster than explanation. Guard it like a fragile treasure. Avoid unnecessary drama. Lose the habit of reacting emotionally, and let your character be louder than rumors. A strong reputation opens doors without knocking. A damaged one locks opportunities you didn't even know existed. Law 6: Court attention at all costs. In a world of noise, invisibility is death. You can be brilliant, skilled, disciplined, and gifted, but if no one knows you exist, your power dies in silence. Attention is not fame. Attention is relevance. It is the oxygen of influence. The key is not to seek attention desperately, but deliberately. Appear where it matters. Speak when it counts, and let your presence be felt in a way that sparks curiosity, not embarrassment. Attention is not about showing off. It is about positioning. Make your value visible. In the marketplace of ideas, the quietest person often loses not because they are wrong, but because they were unnoticed. Law 7: Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Every great leader stands on the shoulders of teams, contributors, thinkers, and quiet geniuses who rarely get recognized, and the world naturally remembers the one at the top, not the crew behind the scenes. This law is not about exploitation. It is about orchestration. Learn to delegate, coordinate, and combine people's strengths in a way that elevates the whole project, but always maintain the position of final accountability. People follow leaders who take credit, but they respect leaders who also give credit strategically. The key is balance. Let others shine, but never let them outshine your role in the vision. Law 8: Make other people come to you. When you chase, you lower your value. When you attract, you increase it. Power comes from pulling, not pushing, from creating a gravitational field so strong that others feel compelled to approach you. Patience, presence, and positioning turn you into a center of influence instead of a seeker of approval. The moment you stop running after people, opportunities, and validation, the world takes you more seriously. Become the destination, not the traveler. When others come to you voluntarily, they treat you with respect, and negotiation becomes easier, cleaner, and naturally in your favor. Law 9: Win through actions, not arguments. Arguing is the most overrated waste of energy. People rarely change their minds through debate. They change through results. When you argue, you bruise egos, trigger defensiveness, and create silent resentment. But when you demonstrate results, even your enemies are forced to respect you. Actions bypass resistance. A well-executed achievement silences 1,000 opinions. Save your breath. Let your success embarrass the doubts, destroy the excuses, and rewrite the narrative without speaking a word. In the end, people may resist your voice, but they cannot fight your proof. Law 10: Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Some people are storms disguised as friends. Their energy drains you. Their mindset infects you. And their drama becomes your drama simply because you stood too close. Misery loves company because it cannot survive alone. Protect your peace fiercely. Surround yourself with people who elevate your spirit, sharpen your mind, and expand your possibilities. Distance is not cruelty. It is self-defense. You do not rise by helping drowning people who refuse to swim. Save the ones who want saving. Avoid the ones who want an audience. Law 11: Learn to keep people dependent on you. Before anyone misunderstands, dependence here doesn't mean manipulation. It means becoming so valuable, so reliable, and so masterful that removing you would collapse the system. People respect what they need, and they protect what they cannot replace. Learn skills that others rely on. Solve problems few people can solve, and cultivate a presence that stabilizes the environment. When you become essential, you gain leverage. When you become irreplaceable, you gain power. Dependence, in its healthy form, is simply the gravity of excellence. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity. Complete honesty is dangerous because people often misuse the truth you give them. Selective honesty, however, is strategic. It builds trust without exposing vulnerability. Generosity works the same way. Small acts of kindness create loyalty far more powerful than big speeches. A well-timed truth or a well-chosen gift can shift relationships, soften resistance, and build alliances that last. People remember how you made them feel, not how many words you said. Skillful honesty is not manipulation. It is emotional intelligence wrapped in wisdom. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to self-interest. The biggest mistake people make when asking for help is assuming others care about their story, their struggles, or their dreams. They don't. People respond far faster to "this benefits you" than to "please help me." When you speak in the language of self-interest, doors open. When you speak in the language of emotional pressure, people disappear. This law teaches you to approach others with a clear understanding that every human being is driven by their own priorities. Frame your request so that helping you becomes a strategic win for them, not a burden. When you master the art of aligning your needs with another person's motives, collaboration becomes effortless and natural. This isn't manipulation. It is emotional intelligence wearing a suit. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a strategist. In life, kindness opens hearts, but strategy protects you from heartbreak. Pretending to be cold and calculating will make people fear you. But approaching them with warmth while thinking clearly keeps you safe. This law teaches balance. Be friendly, approachable, and human, but never blind. Many people hide their intentions behind smiles, and you must learn to read the room without losing your charm. You don't need to distrust everyone. You simply need to navigate relationships with a strategist's awareness. Even the gentlest river knows its direction while remaining soft to the touch. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. This law sounds savage until you understand its modern meaning. Toxic people don't change. They adapt. If you remove someone harmful from your life halfway, they find ways back in, and the next time, they come with sharper teeth. Sometimes the safest decision is not negotiation, not forgiveness, but complete separation. Block the door. Close the chapter. Delete the access point. Crushing an enemy today means cutting off their influence entirely. You aren't hurting them. You are protecting your peace. Partial boundaries create full problems. Complete boundaries create real freedom. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. If you are always available, your presence becomes ordinary. If you occasionally disappear, your value rises effortlessly. Humans are strange creatures. The more they see you, the less they notice you. Absence creates mystery, and mystery creates respect. This law is not about ghosting or running away. It is about rebalancing energy. When you give people space, they reflect on your importance. When you constantly show up, they forget why you mattered. Distance turns your presence from background noise into a meaningful moment. Sometimes the most powerful way to return is to leave first. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictability is comforting, but comfort makes others underestimate you. By being slightly unpredictable, not chaotic, but calculated, you keep people attentive, cautious, and respectful. This law is the psychology of keeping your power from being taken for granted. When people cannot guess your next move, they treat you with a mix of curiosity and caution. This unpredictability does not mean instability. It means not showing all your cards. A calm river that suddenly shifts course is far more respected than one that flows exactly the same every day. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation feels safe, but it blinds you to opportunities, alliances, and information. When you retreat into emotional or social fortresses, you create a false sense of strength while losing awareness of the world outside. Power needs connection, not popularity, but presence. Stay flexible, stay involved, stay informed. Fortresses protect your body, but kill your intelligence. This law teaches that survival requires movement, observation, and adaptability. You remain strong not by hiding away, but by learning to walk in the world without losing yourself to it. Law 19, know who you are dealing with. People are not equal in temperament, ego, insecurity, or emotional stability. One wrong comment can offend the wrong ego and turn a simple moment into a lifelong conflict. This law warns you to study personalities before interacting deeply. Some people forgive easily. Others take everything personally. Some stay quiet until they explode. Some smile while plotting your downfall. Power is not about controlling others. It is about understanding them. Choose your words based on who stands in front of you, not based on how you feel. Emotional intelligence is the highest form of defense. Law 20, do not commit to anyone. The moment you tie yourself to a side before understanding the landscape, you limit your options and weaken your leverage. Commitment is powerful when chosen wisely, but dangerous when rushed. People will try to pull you into alliances, conflicts, and decisions that benefit them, not you. Stay neutral until the right moment. Keep your independence intact and let others compete for your loyalty instead of assuming they already have it. Freedom creates power, and power creates better choices. Do not chain yourself to anyone unless you understand the price fully. Law 21, play the fool to catch the fool. Sometimes the smartest strategy is to appear less aware than you truly are. When people believe you are harmless or simple, they reveal their intentions faster, they relax, they talk openly, and they underestimate you. This law isn't about deception, it's about observation. Wise people often pretend not to know everything because knowledge speaks loudest when it listens first. By lowering your visible intelligence, you raise your hidden advantage. And no one fears or guards themselves against someone they believe they've already outsmarted. Law 22, use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. There are moments in life when fighting back only worsens your position. In these situations, strategic surrender is not defeat, it's survival. Sometimes letting someone believe they've won gives you the time, space, and leverage to return stronger later. The ego wants victory now. Power wants victory always. When you surrender consciously, you turn your weakness into camouflage. You create openings, shift momentum, and protect your energy. Real warriors know when to retreat. Only fools die on the wrong battlefield. Law 23, concentrate your forces. Your energy, time, talent, and focus are limited resources. Spread them too thin, and everything becomes weak. Concentrate them, and anything becomes powerful. This law is the antidote to modern distraction, reminding you that mastery comes from depth, not multitasking. Choose one goal, one mission, one direction, and pour your strength into it until it bends. The sun cannot burn unless its light is focused into a beam. Neither can you. Power comes from intensity, not activity. Law 24, play the perfect courtier. This law teaches the art of navigating environments filled with hierarchy, ego, politics, and subtle power dynamics. The perfect courtier is graceful, attentive, respectful, and emotionally intelligent. They blend humility with influence, charm with strategy, and loyalty with independence. They understand timing, tone, gestures, and silence. In modern life, the court is the workplace, social circle, or any environment where influence flows indirectly. Success comes to those who can move elegantly without threatening others, who can rise without stepping loudly, and who can persuade without appearing forceful. It is not manipulation, it is diplomacy with elegance. Law 25, recreate yourself. Life will keep trying to force you into boxes built by family, society, culture, and your past mistakes. But this law reminds you that identity is a choice, not a prison. You are not obligated to remain the same character in a story you have outgrown. Recreating yourself is the act of evolving, consciously choosing new habits, new environments, new standards, and even new personalities when needed. The world respects reinvention more than consistency. The bravest people are not those who stay the same, but those who rewrite themselves without asking for permission. Never be afraid to upgrade your life's operating system. Even phones do it every year. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. Mistakes are inevitable, but how you appear is controllable. This law teaches you to avoid getting directly involved in messy situations that could damage your reputation or peace. You can be kind yet firm, present yet distant, involved yet untouched. In the real world, people love assigning blame, and the first person to be blamed is always the one standing closest to the problem. Stay strategic. Avoid unnecessary conflicts. Let processes, structures, or intermediaries handle situations that could stain your name. Power grows in silence, and silence protects your hands. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe in something. Humans crave meaning, direction, and certainty, especially in times of chaos. This law isn't about manipulating belief. It is about understanding the psychological hunger for identity and purpose. When you give people hope, clarity, or a cause bigger than their fears, you naturally gain influence. Every movement, religion, company, or community thrives because someone fulfilled an emotional need that logic alone cannot satisfy. Speak to hearts, not just minds. Provide meaning, not just information. Those who believe in something will follow it naturally. Power flows to the one who provides the narrative. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. Hesitation is the loudest announcement of weakness. When you enter a situation timidly, the world senses it immediately and mirrors it back. But when you move boldly, even imperfectly, people respect you, trust you, and follow your lead. Boldness is the secret of confidence. People don't admire perfection. They admire courage. Do not tiptoe through opportunities. Kick the door gently but firmly. Enter with clarity, strength, and intention. Even when you doubt yourself, act as if you don't. Boldness creates momentum, and momentum creates success. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. Most failures come from acting emotionally in the beginning and blindly halfway through. This law teaches you to see the destination before taking the first step. Planning to the end means preparing for obstacles, anticipating reactions, and understanding what success actually looks like. When you know the ending, you won't get lost in the middle. Impulsive people live in loops. Strategic people live in arcs. Think like a chess player. Every move should carry you toward checkmate, not chaos. Power belongs to the patient, not the panicked. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. People admire results, but resent visible struggle. When you broadcast how hard you work, you invite sympathy from the weak and jealousy from the insecure. But when your success looks natural, even magical, you inspire admiration instead of envy. The trick is not to hide the effort completely, but to reveal only the elegance of the outcome. Let people see the flower, not the sweat that watered it. Effortless excellence is not deception. It is strategic presentation. Greatness looks greater when delivered quietly. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play. With the cards you deal, power increases dramatically when you frame situations so that every available choice benefits you. Instead of forcing people into decisions, design the environment so that the decision makes itself. This law is about controlling context, not controlling people. When you set the rules, you never lose. When you let others set the rules, you never win. Whether in negotiation, leadership, or relationships, curate the options so that others believe they are choosing freely, while unknowingly choosing in your favor. Real control is invisible. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Humans rarely fall in love with reality. They fall in love with what reality could be. Fantasies are emotional oxygen, dreams, desires, hopes, and illusions that make daily life bearable. This law teaches you to speak to imagination, not limitation. Offer possibility instead of probability. Present visions that awaken the inner child in people. Those who make others dream become unforgettable. Logic convinces, fantasy captivates. And the person who can captivate never lacks influence. Law 33. Discover each person's thumbscrew. Every human being has a button, an emotional trigger that exposes their deeper motivations, fears, wounds, or desires. This law does not ask you to exploit people, but to understand them deeply. When you know what moves someone, you know how to communicate, negotiate, and collaborate effectively. One person wants recognition. Another wants safety. Another wants control. Another wants love. Power is emotional intelligence in action, understanding what drives people so that you can interact without unnecessary conflict. To influence someone, you first need to understand their heart, not their words. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. Respect begins with self-respect. Confidence begins with self-belief. When you carry yourself with dignity, posture, and self-worth, people treat you accordingly. This law teaches that power is a performance, not fakery, but presence. You don't need a crown to feel valuable. You need standards, boundaries, calmness, and a quiet sense of inner royalty. Walk, speak, and behave as someone who knows their worth. The world often reflects the energy you present. If you move like someone important, the world adjusts to your gravity. Law 35. Master the art of timing. You can have the right idea at the wrong moment and still fail. Timing is the heartbeat of power. Knowing when to act, when to wait, when to speak, when to be silent, and when to strike. Patience separates amateurs from strategists. The impatient drown in their own urgency. The patient surf the waves of opportunity. This law teaches you to observe before reacting and to understand that time is not an enemy, it is a tool. When you stop rushing, clarity emerges. When clarity emerges, timing reveals itself. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. Desire is fuel, but it can also be a trap. When you obsess over what you cannot have, you give it power over your emotions and your identity. This law teaches emotional independence, the ability to walk away mentally even when something feels tempting. Ignoring what does not belong to you frees your focus for things that do. When you stop chasing, you regain dignity. When you stop craving, you regain control. Some victories come not from winning, but from refusing to participate in battles that drain your spirit. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. People forget words, but they remember experiences. A single powerful image, moment, or gesture can shape your reputation more deeply than 100 conversations. Humans are wired for drama, symbolism, and visual meaning. This law teaches you to use that psychology wisely. You don't need fireworks or exaggerated theatrics. You simply need moments that feel intentional, elegant, and unforgettable. Whether it's the way you walk into a room, the silence before you speak, or the calm confidence you display under pressure, create microspectacles that show rather than tell. Let your presence be a movie others want to keep watching. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Society rewards originality, but punishes those who express it at the wrong time, in the wrong place, or to the wrong audience. This law teaches camouflage not of the soul, but of behavior. Keep your true thoughts private until the environment is safe enough to reveal them. You don't need to broadcast your intelligence or uniqueness to everyone. Real power is knowing when to blend in so you can observe without resistance. Think freely, but express strategically. The world respects rebels, but only the ones who choose their moments wisely. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. When people are calm, they are controlled. When they are emotional, their masks fall. Stirring the water doesn't mean causing chaos. It means introducing small disruptions that reveal truths. A sudden question, an unexpected silence, or a shifted tone can expose intentions far faster than direct confrontation. Stress makes people honest. Confusion makes people careless. The goal isn't manipulation, it's clarity. By gently disturbing the surface, you see what lies beneath. In calm waters, everything looks the same. In stirred waters, the truth swims to the top. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. Nothing in life is truly free. Every gift carries a price, expectations, obligations, or hidden agendas that eventually demand repayment. When you accept too much for free, you place yourself in a position of subtle debt, even if the giver smiles kindly. This law teaches independence. Value what you earn, and be cautious about what is handed to you without effort. Pay for things with dignity, not with gratitude that can be weaponized. What you gain freely often controls you silently. Seek value, not shortcuts. The expensive path builds freedom. The free path builds chains. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. When you follow someone extraordinary, expectations swallow your identity. People compare, judge, and evaluate you not by your own merit, but by the legend you replaced. This law teaches you to carve your own path instead of inheriting another's. Create your own style, your own voice, your own legacy, not an imitation or continuation of someone else's story. Never compete with ghosts. Write your own chapter. People respect originality more than repetition. Greatness is not passed down, it is built. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. In any conflict, group, or system, problems often originate from one central figure. The loudest critic, the hidden manipulator, the quiet ringleader. Addressing everyone except the source only wastes energy. Identify the person who influences the rest, whether positively or negatively, and deal with them directly. Remove the root and the branches fall naturally. This law teaches strategic focus. Instead of battling 10 people, handle the one who fuels them. Influence radiates from leaders. So does chaos. Solve the center and the edges correct themselves. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Power is not built through fear or force. It is built through emotional intelligence. If you want loyalty, influence, or cooperation, speak to people's feelings, not their logic. Logic convinces, but emotion moves. When people feel respected, understood, and valued, they become allies voluntarily. This law teaches the deepest truth of human psychology. You cannot control people, but you can inspire them. The heart is the steering wheel of behavior. The mind is just the engine. Reach the heart first, and the mind follows naturally. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. People can resist arguments, explanations, and criticism, but they cannot resist themselves. When you mirror someone's behavior, tone, or attitude to things happen, they either calm down because they feel understood, or they grow uncomfortable because they see their own flaws reflected back at them. Either way, the mirror controls the moment. This law teaches non-aggressive power. Use reflection to neutralize attacks, expose motives, and reveal hypocrisy. It is impossible to punch your own reflection without hurting yourself, and that is why the mirror effect works. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. People love the idea of change, but fear the reality of it. If you transform everything too quickly, even good changes feel threatening. This law teaches gradual revolution. Introduce improvements step by step, giving people time to adapt emotionally. Stability is a psychological need, and when threatened, people resist even the progress that benefits them. Let evolution, not shock therapy. When change is slow and steady, people believe it was their idea all along. And when people feel ownership, resistance dissolves. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. Perfection breeds admiration from a distance, but resentment up close. When you appear to flawless, people project their insecurities onto you. They feel inferior, threatened, or secretly eager to see you fail. This law teaches strategic vulnerability. Show humanity, not weakness. Reveal small flaws so people feel comfortable around you. Perfection isolates. Authenticity connects. Let others see enough of your human side so they stop imagining your life as effortless. Power grows not from being untouchable, but from being relatable without being ordinary. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. Success is dangerous because it tempts you to keep pushing after you've already won. Many people lose power, not from failure, but from overreaching. This law teaches the discipline of enough. Know when to stop negotiating, when to stop talking, when to stop pushing, and when to step back gracefully. Victory requires restraint. After you have achieved your goal, leave the stage elegantly before greed drags you into unnecessary battles. Power is not in gaining more, it is in knowing what to leave untouched. Law 48. Assume formlessness. The final law is the essence of ultimate power. Adapt to everything, attach to nothing. Formlessness means you cannot be predicted, controlled, or defeated because you are always able to shift your strategy, identity, and energy. Water survives any container because it never insists on one shape. This law teaches fluid intelligence, the ability to evolve with circumstances instead of clinging to the past. When you become flexible in mind, emotion, and ambition, no person, loss, or situation can break you. Formlessness makes you unstoppable because you are never where the enemy expects you to be. Before we end this journey, I want to tell you something softly and honestly. The world is not easy. People challenge you. Life confuses you. And power, real power, often hides behind smiles, silence, and situations you never expected. But the fact that you're here, listening, learning, and growing, tells me something important about you. You're not trying to control others. You're trying to understand the world so you don't get controlled by it. That alone makes you wiser than most. And I hope these laws didn't just make you smarter. I hope they made you feel seen. 'Cause so many of us move through life feeling misunderstood, underestimated, or taken for granted. These laws are not permission to become cold. They are reminders that your heart deserves protection, your time deserves respect, and your dreams deserve strategy. If today's video touched you, taught you, or helped you see yourself more clearly, then I'm grateful. And if you'd like to continue growing with me, learning, reflecting, rising, I'd be honored if you subscribe to Sethtra Books. This channel is not just another YouTube page. It's a small home for minds like yours. Minds that want clarity, wisdom, and peace in a world that often feels unfair. So if you want more videos that strengthen your spirit, sharpen your thinking, and gently guide you through the psychology of people and life, please like this video, subscribe, and join me here again. Until then, stay thoughtful, stay calm, stay powerful, and always remember, you deserve a life that feels good to your heart. Not just impressive to the world. Learn, reflect, rise. Sethtra Books.